6 words that make your cat feel safe instantly. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you this? Cats don't just hear your voice, they sense it. They read the quiet between your words, the rhythm of your breath, and the subtle calm or tension in your body. Long before your hand reaches out to stroke their fur, they already know what your heart is saying. Today, you'll learn how 6 simple words, spoken with intention, can do something remarkable. They remind your cat that your space is their sanctuary. And before we dive in, here's something I promise. If you love your cat even half as much as they've taught you patience, stay till the end. Because one of these 6 words might just change the way your cat looks at you tonight. Take a moment to like and subscribe, not for me, but for your cat. Because every time you do, you help grow this quiet space for stories, science, and connection. If you're watching this, your cat already trusts you enough to stay near. So let's begin. You know that moment when your cat suddenly appears, even before you open the treat bag or sit down on the couch. That's not coincidence. Cats are masters of subtle communication, tuning into the smallest patterns in human speech and behavior. A 2019 study from the University of Tokyo showed that cats recognize their owner's voice even when it's faint or coming from another room. They may not always respond, but they always notice. They're quiet observers in soft fur coats. So today, we'll unlock 6 simple words, and how, when spoken with intention, they can become your shared language of trust and love. Number 1. Here. It sounds simple, almost ordinary, but to a cat, here is not a command. It's an invitation. It's the gentle sound of permission, a doorway left open for them to walk through when they choose. Cats don't respond to authority, they respond to atmosphere. They read the air around your words, the pace of your breathing, the steadiness of your voice, the calm or chaos sitting underneath your tone. When you say here softly, without demand or expectation, it begins to mean something sacred. It says, I see you. I'm present. I'm ready for you whenever you are. Cats are masters of autonomy. They need to feel they are choosing, not being called. But when choice meets warmth, something changes. A cat may not rush to you, but they'll start to drift closer, not because you've asked them to, but because your energy feels safe. Research from Kyoto University has shown that cats respond to the rhythm and emotional tone in a human's voice more than the words themselves. They recognize patterns of calm and react to them like soft music they trust. So tonight, try this. Sit somewhere quiet. Don't call. Don't reach. Just breathe. Then say here once, in a voice that sounds like an open door. Watch closely. If your cat's ear twitches, if their eyes glance toward you, or their tail gives the smallest flick, that's not indifference. That's awareness. That's your cat saying, I hear you. In their language, acknowledgement is affection. When you use here with gentleness and patience, it becomes a bridge between your stillness and their trust. Over time, that one small word won't just call them, it will comfort them. Because to a cat, here doesn't mean come. It means you're safe to be close. Number 2. Good. Cats might not wag their tails or grin when they're happy, but they have their own quiet ways of showing that they understand your praise. When you say good in a soft, musical tone, it becomes something deeper than a word. It becomes a feeling. To your cat, good isn't about approval. It's about reassurance. It tells them, you're safe, and I'm at peace with you. Cats listen less to the meaning of what we say and more to the rhythm behind it. Researchers from the University of Sussex found that cats respond more positively to affectionate, high-pitched tones, especially the kind we naturally use when speaking to those we love. So when you say good girl or good boy in your warmest voice, you're not just communicating sound. You're offering comfort in a language they understand instinctively. Over time, good becomes a soft emotional anchor, a signal to your cat's nervous system that all is well. It's the auditory version of a slow blink, a verbal pat that lands gently on their heart. Try saying it when your cat curls up beside you, when they blink slowly from across the room, or when they're simply existing near you without needing anything at all. Watch closely. You might notice their body loosen, their tail settle, or a soft breath escape. Subtle signs that your energy feels safe. For cats, good doesn't teach behavior. It nurtures belonging. It reminds them that your presence is predictable and kind. In a world where so much feels uncertain to them, that consistency becomes their calm. So tonight, when your cat stretches beside you or meets your gaze for just a moment, whisper good softly. Let it float through the quiet. They'll hear more than a word. They'll feel home. Number 3. Okay. For cats, okay is quiet magic. It's the word that smooths the air after a sudden noise, the sound that tells them the world hasn't fallen apart. Cats live in a world of subtlety. Every breath, every movement, every flicker of energy around them holds meaning. They're deeply attuned to us, reading emotions that we barely notice ourselves. A 2021 study in animal cognition found that cats can recognize and even mirror human emotional states, responding to our tone, posture, and facial expressions with uncanny accuracy. So when your voice tightens, their shoulders rise. When you exhale calmly, so do they. That's why okay is powerful. It's more than reassurance, it's emotional alignment. When something startles them, a slammed door, a new sound, the sudden clatter of a dropped object, their instincts flare. Their muscles tense, eyes widen, tail freezes. In that fragile moment, your voice becomes their compass. Say it's okay, slowly, almost like a sigh. Let the sound flow through the quiet instead of breaking it. Watch their reaction. Ears that were rigid begin to ease back. Eyes soften into half moons. Maybe there's a single slow blink. That's your cat's way of saying, I hear you. I'm listening. I'm safe again. When used often, okay becomes a reset word, a soft verbal cue that restores balance. It doesn't mean ignore what happened. It means we're safe now. Over time, your cat will start to associate that gentle tone with peace, not because they understand the syllables, but because they trust the calmness behind them. So the next time your cat startles, kneel down, breathe slow, and whisper, it's okay. Feel the tension leave both of you at once. In that shared exhale, your calm becomes theirs, and home feels quiet again. Number 4. Stay. Cats don't stay because we tell them to. They stay because they choose to. Unlike dogs, who often find comfort in direction, cats find peace in permission. That's why the word stay can take on an entirely different meaning when it's offered with warmth instead of control. Spoken softly, stay becomes less of a command and more of an invitation, a quiet way of saying, you're safe here, and you don't have to go. It's an energy, not an order. When you whisper stay as your cat curls beside you, you're reminding them that this moment is enough. No expectations, no tricks, no need to perform. Just stillness shared between two beings who understand each other without words. Cats crave that kind of peace. They may not always show it, but they're experts at sensing emotional balance. When your energy settles, they settle with you. Try this the next time your cat is stretched out nearby, eyes half closed, tail flicking lazily. Breathe in slow, then say stay softly, as if you're speaking to the air around them. Watch what happens. Their breathing deepens. The tip of their tail slows. Maybe they blink once, or just stay perfectly still. That's their version of I'm comfortable here. It's not obedience, it's trust made visible. Over time, stay becomes a word of quiet connection. It tells your cat that your space is steady, that they can rest within it without worry. You're not holding them there, you're letting them be there. And that choice, freely made, becomes its own kind of love. Because when a cat chooses to stay, it's not out of habit or command. It's because your calm has become their home. Number 5. Love. Cats may appear mysterious, even distant at times, but they understand love in ways that reach beyond words. To them, love is not a declaration. It's a rhythm, a pattern, a presence they can feel. When you say love softly, stretching the word like a lullaby, it carries a warmth that vibrates through the space between you. It's less about the syllables and more about the softness in your tone, the calm that steadies your breath, the energy that tells them you mean no harm. Cats are emotional translators. They don't need definitions, only consistency. Research from the University of Paris-Nanterre found that cats respond most to affectionate, high-pitched tones, what scientists call cat-directed speech. It mirrors the way we instinctively speak to those we care about, slower, gentler, filled with warmth. When you whisper love like that, your cat doesn't analyze the sound, they absorb it. They feel the air around them change. The world quiets a little. The tension softens. Try it the next time your cat curls into your lap, or when they pause and meet your eyes across the room. Say love slowly, letting the word linger like a heartbeat. Watch their response. Maybe they'll blink once, maybe they'll purr faintly, or maybe they'll simply stay still. But in that stillness, something sacred happens. That's understanding. That's safety. Over time, love becomes more than a word. It becomes a vibration they recognize, a shared frequency of peace. It's the sound that reminds them of home, of quiet evenings and gentle touches. So tonight, whisper it softly into the air between you. You don't have to prove it, just feel it. Because cats may not speak our language, but they'll always understand the warmth in the word love. Number 6. Their name. It might be the most powerful sound in your cat's entire world. Their name isn't just a label. It's a thread woven through every gentle moment you've shared. Every treat offered, every soft pat, every whispered goodnight begins with that sound. To a cat, their name carries the memory of safety, of warmth, of every calm moment they've spent beside you. It's a word layered with feeling, not meaning. A familiar melody that tells them this is where I belong. In 2019, researchers at the University of Tokyo discovered that cats can recognize their own names, even when spoken by strangers. But here's what science doesn't always say out loud. How you say their name matters far more than how often. If their name is only spoken sharply, Luna, no, or Milo, stop, it becomes tangled with tension. They learn to brace when they hear it. But when you speak their name softly, gently, with kindness, Milo, sweet Luna, something inside them relaxes. It becomes a sound that means safety, not scolding. Try this. Say their name once, then wait. Let the air between you settle. Say it again, just a little softer. Watch closely, the smallest flick of an ear, a slow blink, a gentle stretch. That's recognition, but it's also something deeper, trust. To your cat, that name is more than sound. It's memory, emotion, and belonging woven into a single breath. Over time, their name becomes a promise that your voice will always be kind, that your space will always feel safe. And when you speak it with warmth, they don't just hear it, they feel it. Because to your cat, their name isn't just who they are, it's the sound of home calling softly back to them. How to make your cat love you more. Love, for a cat, isn't earned through effort, it's grown through trust. It's not about doing more, but about being more present. Cats love through quiet observation, through energy that feels safe. You can't rush it, and you don't need to. What you can do is offer the kind of love that speaks their language, slow, calm, and consistent. Here are 10 quiet ways to make your cat love you more. 1. Be predictable. Cats bloom in calmness. They are creatures of quiet observation, mapping every sound, movement, and rhythm that fills their world. To a cat, routine isn't boring. It's safety, and safety is the first language of love. Every time you feed them at the same hour, speak in the same tone, or move through your home with steady energy, you teach them one simple truth. You can trust me. And in a cat's heart, trust always comes before affection. Unpredictability feels like noise to them. A sudden loud laugh, a door slammed, a hand moving too quickly, it interrupts their sense of peace. But when life follows a familiar rhythm, they relax. They start to meet you halfway. You'll notice it in small moments. The way they begin waiting by the door when you usually return home, or how they settle on the couch the moment you sit down. These aren't coincidences. They're quiet affirmations of comfort. Try to build gentle rituals together. Feed them around the same time each day. Keep your playtime sacred. The same toy, the same few minutes of focus, the same soft laughter at the end. Even the way you greet them matters. A soft hey there every morning becomes a thread that ties your energy to safety. Over time, they'll weave those threads into a fabric of trust. Because love, to a cat, doesn't shout or rush. It moves in steady patterns. It's the sound of footsteps they recognize, the calm rhythm of your breath at night, the predictability that tells them their world, is stable and kind. So be predictable, be steady, and watch how your cat begins to unfold, slowly and beautifully, in the quiet garden of your consistency. 2. Let them come to you. Love, to a cat, is never taken, it's offered. The more you chase it, the further it drifts. Cats move through the world on their own terms, guided by curiosity, not command. When you let them come to you, you're telling them the one thing they long to hear. You are free here. And freedom, for a cat, is the soil where trust begins to grow. Approach slowly. Speak softly. Then stop. Let the air between you rest. Don't reach out too soon. Don't fill the silence with words. Just wait. In that pause, your energy softens, and they can feel it. Cats sense intention through stillness more than motion. When your body is calm and your breath steady, you become something they can approach safely, not a hand reaching for them, but a presence waiting to be shared. It may start small, a flick of the tail, a step closer, a glance that lingers 1 second longer than before. Each time your cat chooses to come nearer, that's love in motion, quiet, deliberate, and completely voluntary. Let those moments unfold without reward, without expectation. The choice itself is the connection. Over time, your patience becomes magnetic. They'll start to approach you not just out of curiosity, but out of comfort. They'll learn that your space is gentle, your touch never rushed. And when they settle beside you, not because you called, but because they wanted to, that's the truest kind of love a cat can give. So don't reach. Don't hurry. Simply wait, open-hearted and still. Let them close the distance in their own time. Because when a cat chooses you freely, they're not just walking toward your hands. They're walking toward your trust. 3. Blink slowly. The slow blink is one of the purest expressions of love in a cat's quiet language. It's not grand or loud or obvious. It's a whisper of trust shared between eyes. When a cat looks at you, blinks once, then lingers in that soft, half-closed moment before looking away, they're saying something sacred. I trust you. I feel safe in your presence. It's their version of a smile, their way of offering peace without a sound. To return that gesture is to speak their language fluently. Meet their gaze gently. Don't stare. In a cat's world, staring can feel like a challenge. Instead, soften your eyes. Let your breath fall into a slow rhythm. Then blink once, slowly, deliberately, letting your eyelids rest for just a heartbeat before opening them again. Finally, look away. That small movement, slow blink, release, gaze aside, is a conversation of calm. When you do this, your cat reads your intent instantly. Cats are emotional mirrors. They can feel when your energy is soft and open. The slow blink becomes a bridge between two species, a signal that says, you're safe here, and I mean no harm. Try it when they're perched nearby, observing you from across the room, or as they rest beside you in quiet contentment. You might see them blink back, or simply relax a little deeper into the space between you. Over time, these small exchanges create an invisible thread of trust. You'll find that the slow blink becomes a ritual of reassurance, a shared heartbeat in the silence. Because sometimes, love doesn't need words or gestures. Sometimes, it's just a pair of eyes closing slowly in peace, whispering softly across the quiet. I see you. I trust you. I'm home. 4. Respect their silence. Cats live in a world of quiet observation. They listen more than they speak, notice more than they reveal. Their silence isn't distance, it's reflection. It's how they process the world, how they find safety in stillness. When you learn to respect that silence, you speak a language few humans ever master. You tell your cat, I see you. I honor what you need. Cats don't always need affection. Sometimes they just need space. A corner of calm, a pocket of solitude where no one reaches, no one insists. When you step back instead of leaning in, you offer them something powerful, choice. And choice, to a cat, is love in its purest form. When your affection doesn't demand, it invites. It gives them room to approach when they're ready. It tells them they can trust you not only with their closeness, but with their distance too. You'll notice it in subtle ways. The cat who once hid when touched may start watching you from a safe distance. Then, one day, they take a single step closer. Maybe not much, just one quiet inch of courage. But that step is everything. That's trust being rebuilt, not through touch, but through permission. Try it tonight. Sit near your cat, but not too close. Don't speak. Don't reach. Just exist in their silence. Let your breathing slow until the air feels shared. In that space, your cat learns that your love doesn't chase, it listens. Over time, they'll start to seek you not out of need, but comfort. Because when a cat realizes you understand their silence, they begin to fill it with trust. And in that quiet understanding, love grows, not loudly, but deeply, like a purr hidden inside the heart. 5. Speak softly, always. Your voice is more than sound to your cat. It's atmosphere. It fills the room like weather, shaping how they feel before they even understand why. Every tone, every breath, every pause becomes part of their emotional landscape. When you speak softly, your words carry calmness. When you speak harshly, they ripple with tension. To a cat, who listens not just with ears but with the whole of their being, your voice is a map of safety. Cats are emotional barometers. They sense the rise and fall of your mood long before you say a word. A gentle voice tells them the storm has passed. It says, "You're safe now." Even a whisper of kindness can melt the static of fear into something soft and familiar. Think of your voice as a blanket, something that wraps around your cat, steady and warm. Try it the next time your cat startles or hides. Don't rush. Don't raise your tone. Just breathe once and say something simple. Their name, maybe, or it's okay. Let the words drift like a soft breeze rather than a command. You'll see the difference in their body language. A tail that slowly uncurls, ears that turn back toward you, eyes that soften instead of darting away. That's trust returning. Over time, your cat will start to associate your voice with peace. The rhythm of it becomes a familiar melody, a sound that tells them the world is gentle when you're near. Speak softly when you greet them, when you feed them, even when you pass them in the hallway. Because to your cat, your voice isn't just communication, it's comfort. And every calm word you speak plants another quiet seed of love in the garden of their trust. 6. Create safe rituals. Cats find comfort in the familiar. They move through life guided by patterns, rhythms, and tiny certainties that help the world make sense. To a cat, ritual isn't just routine, it's reassurance. It's your way of saying, "You can count on me." Every small act repeated with care, the soft greeting in the morning, the treat after playtime, the quiet cuddle before bed, becomes a thread that weaves safety through their day. These moments don't have to be big or elaborate. In fact, cats prefer the simple and predictable. Maybe it's the way you open the curtains at the same hour each morning while whispering their name, or the sound of their bowl being set down gently before every meal. These details might seem ordinary to you, but to your cat, their promise is kept, daily proof that their world is stable and kind. Rituals help them trust not just the routine, but you. They begin to know your footsteps, the way you move, the quiet rhythm of your life. And within that rhythm, they find peace. When the world outside feels uncertain, a new sound, a visitor, a storm, your familiar patterns become their anchor. Try creating a ritual tonight. Maybe it's a soft good night before you turn off the lights, or a gentle brush through their fur at the same time each day. Over time, they'll start anticipating those moments, waiting for them not out of habit, but out of comfort. Because love, for a cat, lives in the small repetitions, in the steady presence that never wavers. The world tells them change is constant, but your rituals whisper otherwise. They say, "You're safe, you're seen, and tomorrow will be just as kind as today." 7. Play, but on their terms. Play is how a cat remembers who they are. Part hunter, part poet, all instinct. But for them, play isn't chaos or noise. It's choreography. It follows rules written into their nature, rules that ask for patience, timing, and respect. Cats love to hunt, not to be chased. They love the slow dance of the stalk, the silent pause before the pounce, the satisfying victory at the end. When you understand that rhythm and follow their lead, play becomes something more than fun. It becomes trust in motion. Use toys that awaken their instinct. A feather on a string, a wand that flickers like a bird in flight. Move it slowly, unpredictably, like prey would move in the wild. Watch how their body lowers, eyes sharpen, tail twitches. This is not aggression. It's focus, the ancient thrill of the hunt. Let them take their time. Let them miss. Let them win often. Because in their world, victory builds confidence, and confidence builds love. Never rush them, and never turn play into pressure. Don't grab or corner them, even in jest. Play should always end in success, that triumphant moment when they catch the toy, when they feel capable and seen. Praise them softly afterward. A whisper of good or a gentle stroke can anchor that joy into your shared bond. When you play on their terms, you're not just entertaining them. You're speaking directly to their wildness, their pride, their sense of self. You're saying, "I understand you." And that understanding becomes connection. So take the time. Move slowly. Let them lead the dance. Because for a cat, love often begins not with a cuddle or a treat, but with the quiet, sacred thrill of the hunt, shared, respected, and one together. 8. Offer touch wisely. Touch, to a cat, is sacred. It's never casual or careless. It's earned, slowly, through trust built over time. When you reach out to pet them, you're stepping into their quiet world of boundaries and meaning. Every brush of your hand speaks, whether you realize it or not. To a cat, touch is not about control, it's about connection. When given gently, it becomes a language of safety, a soft reminder that your presence is kind. Start with the places that feel familiar to them, their cheeks, under the chin, behind the ears. These are the same spots they use to mark you as part of their family, rubbing their scent as if to say, "You belong to me too." When you pet them there, you're speaking back in the same affectionate dialect. Move slowly and watch closely. You'll see their eyes soften, their tail still, their body lean into your hand. That's their way of saying yes. But here's the secret. Stop before they ask you to. Cats live in the space between comfort and control, and they treasure having the choice to end a moment before it becomes too much. If you stop while their body is still relaxed, they remember that your touch listens, that it respects. And when they walk away on their own, let them. Don't call them back. Trust that they'll return when they're ready. Leaving them wanting more teaches trust, not resistance. Over time, they'll start to seek your hand, not because they crave affection, but because they trust the way you give it. And in that quiet, gentle exchange, a head pressed against your palm, a soft purr against your skin, you'll find the truest kind of love. Touch that asks for nothing, yet says everything. 9. Be present, not perfect. Cats don't need perfection, they need presence. They don't care if the house is messy, if your day was long, or if your thoughts are scattered. What they feel most is your energy. When you sit near them, calm and unhurried, they sense it. Your stillness becomes a language they understand instinctively, a silent assurance that says, "You're safe here." Sometimes, the best way to love a cat isn't to do anything at all. It's simply to be. Sit quietly near them. Don't reach, don't call, don't fill the air with noise. Just let the moment breathe. Cats notice stillness the way we notice warmth. They lean toward it. In a world that moves too fast, your stillness tells them that time has softened, that peace exists in this tiny shared space between you. Maybe they'll approach, maybe they won't. Both are okay. What matters is that your energy stays gentle, like sunlight resting across a windowsill. If they come closer, let it happen naturally. A soft brush against your leg, a curl of their tail around your hand. That's their quiet way of joining you, of acknowledging your calm. And if they don't, know that your presence still means something. Cats remember the people who make peace feel easy. Perfection tries to impress. Presence simply invites. Your cat doesn't need your best mood, only your honest one. They can feel when your heart slows down enough to match their rhythm. Steady, patient, unforced. So tonight, put down your phone, breathe deeply, and just sit near them. Let silence become your shared language. Because for a cat, love isn't always touch or talk. Sometimes, it's two souls resting quietly in the same still air, feeling safe together without needing a single word. 10. Love them as they are. Every cat carries a story, some loud, some quiet, some written in trust, and others in the spaces where fear once lived. To love a cat is to learn that every personality, every quirk, every hesitation is part of who they are. You're not meant to shape them into what you hope for. You're meant to meet them exactly where they are. Love them not for how affectionate they can be, or how playful, or how picture-perfect, but simply because they exist perfectly themselves. Some cats are soft and social, climbing into your lap without hesitation. Others love from a distance, watching with slow blinks from across the room. Both kinds love deeply, they just speak it in different dialects. When your love asks nothing in return, they feel that freedom. They sense the space you give them to be wholly themselves. And in that space, something beautiful begins to unfold. They start offering you their truest self, little by little, without fear. Love without expectation feels different to them. It's in the gentle way you speak, the patience in your timing, the kindness that doesn't demand a certain response. Maybe it's the way you still whisper their name even when they don't come, or the way you stay still, waiting, instead of reaching. Every act of acceptance plants another seed of trust. Over time, they'll give back that love in their own sacred ways. A head pressed against your hand, a soft purr when the room grows quiet, a slow blink across the distance. That's how cats say I love you too. It's quiet, it's honest, it's real. So love them as they are, not the cat you wish they'd be, but the one who's already chosen to share their silence, their trust, their heart with you.